Now, we all know that today was the 5-year anniversary for the Division 2, and there's all this talk about the continuation of Year 5 and Year 6. But what about this part right here from Yannick, the creative director?
Working on a revamp of the seasons, a whole new DLC bringing us to Brooklyn. There is a lot coming, and this is a really exciting time for the Division 2. Okay, you good? Got what you wanted?
That was awesome. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. And it's just year 6, and I really can't wait until we can start telling them about what's coming after with all this.
Now, obviously, what they mean by that is, with Year 6, we're not getting a story DLC for Brooklyn anymore. Now it's looking to be a full-on DLC. Now, not only that, but it looks like we are getting more, including a Year 7 for the Division 2. Now, my thoughts on this is that the Seasons 2.0 is going to revolve around getting things together and moving it towards a more permanent schedule, something along the lines of the Division 1, where we would have global events that would be on a permanent schedule, even though it's kind of ironic because even right now in the game, the global events are not going according to plan. But with that being said, I believe that the Seasons 2.0 is going to give us a more permanent structure. It's not really going to add more to it. It's just going to be a permanent schedule that we can follow at any given time. And then all of the new content will be linked to the DLC. So we will have a new Brooklyn DLC. We will have this new permanent cycle of seasons. And then Year 7 will give us that, merging year into the Division 3. So that's going to be pretty damn exciting. I'm liking it, but I want to see and hear more. I know that Division Day is set for April 20th, somewhere around there. So I am looking forward to Division Day 2024. But this just really started getting the juices flowing. But not only that, but we started getting articles that were written about the Division 2 today that dropped, and I really wanted to share them with you. Now, I know that this video has started off completely different, and well, this is a different type of video. We are celebrating as a community the Division franchise, and I wanted to share all of this information with you. That way you are on the same page as me. So let's jump over to Twitter, and I'll show you the article that I'm mentioning. And here we are on Twitter. I mean, X, if you're nasty. But you can follow me over here at Kamikazevondoom for all of the Division news from creators, the developers, the publishers, anything Division related at all, I share on here, including articles that are written about the Division 2. So let's click on this article, shall we? Here we go. So this is written from Windows Central. And it says, the Division 2 is 5 years old and shows how to do a live service game right. And that is the main premise of this video. We have hit 5 years. Yes, this is a milestone. But the Division is not dead. The Division will never be dead. And not only that, but we are only hitting these milestones showing that this is the only gaming franchise that is really going to be able to do this outside of, say, Destiny or World of Warcraft, which is pretty crazy because those are two titans of franchises. Now let's read this article. This is written by Richard Devine, or I don't know, Devine, yeah, whatever. And it says here, live service games are great for publishers, but can be exhausting for players, and Ubisoft's looter shooter does it better than others. And I completely agree. This is awesome that the Division 2 has not only been a thing for 5 years, but it's been growing. It's getting bigger and better, and it shows no signs of backing off. Not only that, but we are getting more and more as, I mean, we do wait, but we do have the Division Resurgence coming out, the Division Heartland, and of course, this new DLC for the Division 2, ramping up things to get us ready for the Division 3. So let's continue on here. And Richard continues. Live service games are often a topic of discussion, good and bad. For players, having a game with a continually progressing experience that they can return to can be good, even if it's sometimes exhausting and expensive. That latter point is particularly pleasing to the people making these games. Money makes it all happen, after all. But too often, instead of just creating a good experience for players, shilling skins and the like becomes the priority, you can almost understand it more in a free to play game like, I don't know, Apex Legends. But expensive purchases aren't exclusive to these games. It made me think about my own favorite live service game, The Division 2. This is a game that had planned shelf life, but remained so popular with its player base that it has far outlived that shelf life, and it isn't just getting support, it's actually thriving. It's a live service game that I play a lot and have no issues spending a few bucks from time to time. But the key is that I don't have to. It isn't the only game that does it this way, but I think its popularity after full 5 years is partly down to how it has managed to offer new content without ripping off its players or demanding all of their free time to play. And I completely agree with Richard here. Completely. This is a great example of how the division is different from all those other franchises. We have a live service game that you do not have to put money into. You can grind it out if you want in any pace that you want. You can grind out PvP, PvE, you can do whatever it is you want in the division too. Not only that, but whenever you do spend money, it is mainly just for cosmetics. It does not help you in the game. There is no pay to win here. The division has made this concept and pretty much mastered it and is showing all of these other franchises how to do this. It is a simple concept. If you want to look cool in the game, well, shill out a few dollars to the devs. If you just want to grind out the game, you can grind out the game. If there's a certain outfit that you have to have, well, there you go. It's not going to break the bank, but at the same time, it's not going to be free either. It's kind of a give and take relationship in the community that is so loyal, like the division. It just shows you how you can balance this in such a precise way that makes everybody happy. And that's exactly why the Division 2 is still thriving after 5 years. Now it says here, the Division 2 is not alone in its model, but it's the one that I've played the most. Close to 800 hours and climbing. Get it, guy? And this is, of course, the person that, wrote this article. 800 hours and climbing. That's still pretty nice. Side note, let me know how long you've been playing this game, how much time you have, what platform, all of that. It's pretty cool to see. I believe for me personally, Xbox, I think I'm around like 270 or 280 days. PlayStation, I'm around, I don't know, 50 days or so. And then PC, probably around 15 days. I don't know, something around there. But let me know what you think or where you're at there in the comments. Now it says it's pretty simple to understand. If you want to play the seasonal content, the only thing you need is a copy of the game and the Warlords expansion. The latter is what unlocked the current model. And it's necessary because seasons cover both Washington and New York maps. Because that's it. And it's true. Whenever people say, is Warlords of New York worth it? I think it's essential because to play any of the new stuff, it bounces from New York to DC and, vice versa. So not having Warlords of New York is like not fully experiencing the game for what it is. Now, Richard continues here. Each season, new items, including new named weapons, gear pieces, and exotics, are dropped onto the season pass. Now, the season pass has 100 levels, and given how long each season lasts, it's not difficult for even the casual player to complete it. Not least because there are regular periods of double XP to help you get there even quicker. And what he means here is whenever we have a new manhunt go live, our first 15 levels, we are given double XP. So you are able to get these double XP, hikes every few weeks during the season. And if you do it right, it's an easy 60 levels out of 100 given to you right then and there. Now it says, let's see here. Now it says, I think the most recent season pass took me 5 days to complete all 100 tiers. Now, the reason for that, and I've been mentioning this in a lot of my previous videos, is that the new projects give you a lot of XP, a buttload of XP. So please do your projects. Now, Richard continues on here, but the beauty is that the season pass is completely free. All new gear is added to this free track, so everyone benefits without needing to pay. There is a premium track, but that only offers more stuff. There are more gear caches and cosmetics, but all the most important items from the season are from the free track. This is a live service game that you can enjoy every week of the year, take part in all the seasonal events, and get all of the rewards without spending a dime. Other than this, the stuff to buy are the cosmetics. Even then, there are regular apparel events that offer a selection of new threads, again, that everyone can play without spending a dime. Live service games need a sustainable amount of income to make it worth it, but I really do think that Ubisoft has nailed it with the Division 2's cosmetic focused model. And I completely agree with the writer here. Because you are not paying for exotic caches, you're not paying for, anything like that. I mean, the gray area for me personally is you can buy season levels, and for me, that's a gray area. But the way that the new projects are laid out, you shouldn't be buying any levels. Just do your projects, and you're good to go. I mean, the weekly PvP project alone gives you like 12, maybe 13 levels. I mean, it's pretty nice. All right, now we continue on here. It says it's easy to participate without needing to consume your life. I think the biggest reason that the Division 2 is the only live service game that I've really stuck with in the long term is that it doesn't consume your life. Destiny 2, by contrast, always feels overwhelming to me. I enjoy a grind, but that's a game that's always felt a little too grindy. Not to mention, without constantly playing it, the story feels impossible. The seasonal model in the Division 2 constantly has something going on, but the activities are also easy to clear quickly, grab your rewards, and if you so choose, you can put the game down until the next one. The apparel events last for multiple weeks, giving plenty of time to level up, enough to gain the required caches to get the full set. The speed run focused leagues are always on hard and challenging difficulties, with times that are easily achievable for players of all skill levels, either solo or in a group. Many of the global event challenges can be ticked off quickly by playing in a group, and the manhunts that occur every few weeks as part of the seasonal story, they don't last long or rattle off. Richard continues here. there's not too much to have FOMO about when playing the Division 2. Aside from the raid exclusive gear, for which you have to be in a group of 8, practically everything else in the game can be achieved solo or through random matchmaking. The difficulty can be adjusted on a per mission or global basis. And while the quality of gear also scales accordingly, nobody feels forced to play harder content than they're comfortable with. For the dedicated players, there are daily and weekly projects that are always worth completing. But again, if you're a casual player, you're not really missing out on anything. The whole game is set up in such a way that you can play as much or as little as you want and still feel like you're making the most of it. Pretty good, pretty good. High hopes for the Division 3. This is a good article. I'm digging it. Richard goes on and says the next game, the Division 3, as we expect it to be called, has been confirmed. Albeit we're not expecting to see it for years yet, but I'm confident that it's going to be epic. The original Division game was a live service game of sorts, but not close to what it's been achieved with its sequel. The constant supply of a new game model, an expanding story, and now a huge overhaul in the entire game's quality of life with Project Resolve, it's all a credit to its developer, Massive. The work still goes on, and as Year 5 comes to an end later this year, the Year 6 roadmap will kick in. This is currently slated to bring a new story DLC expansion, the first since Warlords of New York back in 2020. The time between expansions may be long, but the fact is that it's coming at such a late time in the game's life to make it even more amazing. If you're not tired of it, I don't know. This game. It reminds me that, we hit Woney, right? And then the pandemic hit. I'm sorry I'm going off here, but this started to get me thinking. The pandemic hit, and that's when everyone was like, oh, the game's dead. The game's dead. No one's going to do this. No one's going to play this. Why are you even trying to cover this game? It's all dead. And even the developers, they came back and said, well, yeah, with Title Update 12, we were going to close the doors and move on to the next thing. But with the support of the community, they decided to keep the lights on, and not only that, open up all of these other doors for the franchise to blossom. So then we had the Division 3, the Division Heartland, the Division Resurgence, all of this. Not only that, but of course, we've had the rumors about the Division movie for years with actors like Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain linked to it. And not only that, but Rawson Thurber as the director. So there's a lot of things going on with this franchise, and it just puts in perspective that since 2020, we've been going off of these seasons and thriving as a community. That's insane. That this next DLC is the first major thing we've had since Woney. That's a big eye opener. Anyways, moving on with what Richard said. It said here, if you've never tried it, I can't recommend it enough. The game and the expansion are frequently on sale, and there's a ridiculous amount of content to enjoy, and it makes it such a good value. I don't know if we've got another 5 years on this one before the sequel, but I'm here for it, however long it takes. And I completely agree. Now that was the end of the article, and it was written by Richard Devine, I want to say. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. And he is the managing editor for techs and reviews over here at windowscentral.com. But I really just wanted to read that article because it was circulating today throughout the community, and it was just showing how this community is nowhere near dead. The franchise is getting bigger by the week, and I cannot stress enough that you need to buckle in because this is a long journey with the Division 3. I mean, just think of it, right? Maybe we go into year 7 for this game and then we have the Division 3, right? Assuming that's another live service game like the Division 1 and the Division 2, you can easily add 5 years to whenever that game comes out for its average lifespan, if not further, right? Something similar to like For Honor or Destiny 2. But I would say 5 years is a good, median. So what we're locked in with this franchise until what, 2030, something like that at least. So I can't stress enough that we as a community are not only loyal to this franchise, but we're not going anywhere. And this franchise isn't going anywhere, and it's only going to get better. So I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for sticking around and showing support. And this is only the beginning. Things are really looking up. I'm enjoying this. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I am Kamikazevondoom. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. And finally, shout out where you're from. It's always cool to see where everyone's from. But that's it for me. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Peace out.